Hello and welcome to Cozy Creeps, where we bundle up and pretend to be sitting by a cozy fire and listening to spooky tales. My name is Reagan, and I will be your host for this chilling story. And if you're not on YouTube, you have not seen the surprise of the episode, which is we have our first ever guest, aka my husband, who I may or may not have forced to be on here. So here he is. This is River.
Hi.
So I actually kind of framed this episode around him because where he is originally from has some spooky haunted tales to it. So I figured what would be more perfect than doing that. So we're gonna get into that. Also, if you have anything like you want to add about like the history of spring that you may know, jump in and add it because Google was not that helpful this time around. So bear with me, guys. But with that, we're going to bundle up in our favorite blankets. We're going to grab your comfort drinks, which ours this week is both water, hydrate before you dehydrate, guys. And let's get creepy. So, a little bit to preface. So, we are talking about Old Town Spring, which is in Spring, Texas. I know, shocking. But Spring, Texas is located about 45 minutes north of Houston, and it was originally inhabited by the Orca-Kitsa tribe. I hope I'm saying that right. I looked it up, but that information may have been whitewashed. So I'm hoping I'm saying that right. But it was inhabited by the Orca-Kitsa tribe, and then Spaniards, freaking white people, showed up in 1746 and started help colonizing the land, obviously. And then later on down the road, colonists from, I'm guessing, Stephen F. Austin's group. I really tried to find information, guys. I'm doing the best I could, but there was not a lot. It just said Austin colonists, so I'm assuming Stephen F. Austin based off of Texas history. They came and settled in the area around the 1820s, and then German immigrants started coming to the area as well and settling it around the 1940s. And then the railroads came through the area in 1871, and a group of railroad workers actually started calling the area Camp Spring, and this was following one of the worst winters ever. Yes.
I was saying spring.
Oh,
Spring. Sorry, no, I'll continue.
no, you're good. I just saw you make a hand motion and
Yeah,
thought it was
red
weird.
spring. What you mean?
We're up in Sprang.
Exactly.
Anyways, so they started calling it this after one of the worst winters in Texas history, partially because they were hoping for better weather to come in the future. Now, eventually the word camp was dropped and the town officially became Spring, Texas. So that is how Spring got its name, fun fact, is railroad workers being crazy. Fair warning, we're in our living room, so you might hear cats. Sorry.
We hope you hear
We
cats.
hope you hear
Hope you like the
cats.
cozy fire behind
We got a
us.
cozy fire. We've got our blankies. He's got a cozy robe. We've got cats. We're getting it real cozy today. All right, so back to the story. So, as you are well aware of, there are many like haunted areas in Old Town Spring. And so we're gonna get into a few of the main ones that I found when I did my Google research and everything, there were three or four spots that kind of were like the most mentioned as like the most haunted ones. So I'm just gonna go over those for the most part. But if you live in the Spring, Texas area, there's a tour you can go on. Just a fun fact. I looked it up. I kind of want to go,
And as a resident from spring, I'm quite the expert.
except on the hauntings because I asked you.
No further qualifications.
Exactly. Alrighty, so the first place we're going to talk about is the Spring Historical Museum. Now, it was originally constructed in the 1940s as the Spring Church of Christ. So it originally started off as a church, go figure, in the middle of Texas. And eventually, Harris County did acquire it and they turned it into a courthouse. And in the courthouse, they had the offices of the constable, the deputy sheriff, and highway patrol. They were all housed there. It actually became a historic landmark in 2003, so that's pretty cool. It's historic, it's got background, it's fancy. And now we're going to fast forward to today, and it now serves as the Spring Historical Museum, housing many items from Spring's past. Now, the most notable haunted item that I could find any information about was a hand cranked 1900 era Victrola.
What's a Patrolla?
I should have looked that up. I don't remember. Do
Yeah.
you know?
No, they didn't teach that in Sprang.
You were in band.
What's a Patrolla? I'm gonna Google it.
All right, he's gonna Google it while I keep going.
How do you spell it?
Uh, VIT
Yeah.
or V Victrola.
VCTR Victrola.
That's like I used to know.
Turntables.
Ah,
Call it a turntable, bro.
no, they called it a Victrola. So, anyway, this was originally belonging to a woman named Marie Bailey. I don't know if she has any historical significance to spring or not, honestly. Like, I looked, I couldn't find anything about this woman except in this book that my friend, who was also from Spring, lent me.
Oh, Murray Bailey?
Yeah,
No, no, I don't know.
right. Sorry about the weird little jump here, guys. Our daughter chose violence. She chose violence, so we had to go take care of that. Sorry about that. But we are back now, and I think we were just talking about the Victriola and it belonging to Marie Bailey, who I couldn't find anything like significant about her for spring, but who knows, maybe it's there. Um, but as far as the actual haunting and the story of it, so it is rumored that the instrument will just play a song that was reportedly favored by Miss Bailey that she really loved. Now, she had brought this Victrola with her from St. Louis to be with a man named Albert Fateshold, and her dad did not want her marrying this man. But this girl said, "Screw you, Dad. I'm marrying him." And she did. Go off, Queen. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the couple actually lived in Spring until their deaths in 1970, or in the 1970s, sorry. And it's said that you can actually see a young couple dancing to the music on nights of the full moon, and that the woman looks to be wearing a lacy bridal gown because it's never a ghost story without a lady in white, of course. So it is also said that the Victrola will start playing it by itself and play music. Sometimes it's even heard after the museum has closed. So that's a little odd. Like if no one's in there touching it, what's it doing? But yeah, so that is the Spring Historical Museum. That's one of the main places we saw. Now, another spot that I couldn't necessarily find a lot of information about it being haunted specifically, but that a lot of people just said give them creepy vibes is the doll hospital. Which, yeah, I could see a doll hospital just being so creepy, right?
Yeah, and I've
Ooh.
seen that doll hospital whenever we would go and visit, and I never realized there was such a demand for such a hospital.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either, but apparently it is. But as far as like creepiness and like hauntings, quote unquote, according to the owner, the store itself isn't haunted. Like she's never experienced anything, never had any issues. But people will report feeling uneasy and just other weird vibes from the hospital, but no one can really explain what it is. Now, some believe that though the building may not be haunted, some of the dolls themselves may have actually had spirits attached to them. Like, there's plenty of stories about haunted dolls out there, so I could totally sing that.
Well, aside from like the Annabelle doll,
Oh, there's multiple.
I know like the Island of the Dolls, but
No, there's more.
oh,
There's more specific ones. There's one called Robert the Doll that's really creepy. There's another one whose name I won't say because, like, apparently it causes bad juju. But if you listen to And That's Why We Drink, you know what PTD stands for. And we're not saying it. Anyway, but essentially, like, it's a hospital full of old-timey looking dolls. I bet it is creepy to just be around them, even if it's not haunted. I bet it's just creepy. Now, we're going to move on to an actual location that does have some more haunting to it. So, another location is a place in Old Town Spring that's now called Trilogy Brew. It's gone through a couple of owners, but the most recent update I could find is that it's called Trilogy Brew. They do like coffee and like food and wine and stuff, apparently. Now, originally, the building was owned by David Kaplan and his family back in the early 1900s. I think they said around 1913 is when he originally built the building. And it originally started out as a feed and dry goods store, and it also originally started in the Heights. Like that, no, that's where the building itself was.
wait, they moved the whole building?
Yeah, they did. We'll get there. Um,
The Heights is another place like in
yeah,
Houston.
that's where I was going next, babe. Jeez. So for those who don't know, for non-Houstonians, it's a suburb that's literally like right outside Houston, and Spring is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Houston. So that building shouldn't be in Spring, and yet it is. Um,
I will say probably for us non-Americans, that's probably like 40 miles, maybe 35 miles.
that's for Americans, babe.
No, well, Texans specifically measure in time, but a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people outside, I don't know how many kilometers that
You
is.
you said non-Americans, that's why.
Well, I mean, because they're more reasonable than us, it seems, in terms of measuring. It's approximately 100 elephants long. Kidding.
He doesn't know that answer either.
No, I don't.
No, no, no. Anyway, back to Trilogy Brew. So eventually, Martin Kaplan, David's grandson, had sold the store and the property in the Heights in 2005, and then the building was split in two and moved to where it's now located in Old Town Spring. So yeah, they literally like separated this building out and moved it. Like that scene in SpongeBob when Patrick's like, "Why don't we just take Bikini Bottom and move?" That's literally what they did. They
You know,
Bikini Bottomed this.
still probably better put together than new construction houses these days.
Oh, I bet it is 100%. So like I said, the store has since had many other names and owners, but it is currently known as Trilogy Brew, and all the owners and like staff people who've worked there have stated they've experienced paranormal activity in this house. It's said that Martin is actually he actually like came along with the house from the Heights. He just decided, no, 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 I'm sticking with my house
Like he rode in the house
as a
on the
ghost,
highway.
as a ghost,
That's pretty
living his best life. And he could actually be seen interacting with guests sometimes and like enjoying the fact that I guess the guests are having a really good time. So that's Martin. And there's some other hauntings by other members of like the original Kaplan family, like David Kaplan and his wife and children, because they actually caught the Spanish flu and a few of them passed away upstairs in the house. So
cool. Oof.
yeah, I couldn't find anything specific, but I did see that there was like some stuff about the family. There were some specifics about David Kaplan, and that's that he keeps to the upstairs area and he doesn't like it if doors are left open, so he'll just slam them shut if the staff leaves them open, like in the most passive aggressive way to let them know, shut my doors,
Like the opposite of a cat.
basically. There is also a young boy referred to as young Henry who can be spotted around the store. I so I read a book about it and then I also was reading like Google articles about it, and in the book it didn't mention Henry as one of the sons, but in Google it did, like one of the sons that passed away from Spanish flu. But in the book that wasn't the son's name. So I don't know who's wrong, but one of them was wrong. So I'm not going to specifically say he was a member of the Kaplan family. I'm just going to say he's there though. But he can be spotted running around the store, and according to the current owner, he actually has a favorite stuffed animal. It's a Bugs Bunny stuffed animal, and it'll just disappear and reappear around the store.
Is that why we have a Bugs Bunny stuffs?
We don't have a Bugs Bunny stuffed animal.
Don't we? I thought you did from like when we got married, right? That really old one is like a pillow pet.
That's not Bugs Bunny, it's just a bunny.
Ah, he's Bugs Bunny.
It's not Bugs Bunny. It's mine, I can tell you it's not Bugs Bunny.
He looks strikingly similar to Bugs Bunny.
Anyway, not the point. Now, the last place we're going to cover is probably the most haunted place and most talked about haunted place in Old Town Spring, and that is the Winchy Bros Cafe. So, from what I could gather from Google in this book, because all the sources just wanted to say something different for some reason, driving me crazy. It was originally opened in 1902 by brothers Charlie and Del Winchie, and the building actually started out originally as a hotel, brothel, and saloon for travelers and railroad workers. So,
Yeah, I can confirm that. I ate there once.
one time.
Qualifications.
Yeah, he's got the qualifications. Yeah, so it was a good time all around apparently in that house. I don't know. But the business was actually pretty successful early on. That is until Prohibition. Good times. Good times. So unfortunately, their business did decline and they did eventually sell it in 1949, and that's when it became a cafe. Now, the most notable ghost, of course, is Charlie Winchie. Before the store caught fire in 2015, servers would report hearing footsteps in the off-limits second floor area, which was known kind of as like Charlie's area, like that was his domain. You didn't go up there and mess with him. It's also reported that people have seen Charlie looking out of windows on the second floor or sitting on the upper porch, like in a rocking chair or something. Staff have also reported that like they would rearrange furniture and equipment before close sometimes, and this would make Charlie annoyed, and he'd start acting up. And he'd start moving things around. He would start locking doors on them and start knocking on the doors as well, just to mess with people, apparently. And just really anytime there was any sort of like remodeling or construction, um, paranormal activity, assuming presumably from Charlie, would pick up a lot. So, which that's pretty common in haunted places apparently. Like if you like start doing construction or remodeling and it's haunted, the ghosts don't like it and they start acting up. Fun fact. But there are also rumors of a little girl haunting the place, but like I couldn't find anything on that. I saw one source like briefly mention it, and that was it. So I'm not too sure about that, but supposedly there's a little girl haunting Witchy Bros Cafe. Now, there was one like standalone story that I read that kind of freaked me out that I was like, ooh, that's kind of gross. And it was a worker and she had been in the bathroom alone and she heard someone like come in and was making a lot of noise. But like after she came out of her stall and starts looking around, no one's in there. It's just her. Like she doesn't see anyone. And so she ran out and after that she just didn't want to be in the building alone again. And all I have to say is that that better not have been you, Charlie. Charlie, better not be creepy. I know you're a ghost, but don't be creepy. So yeah.
So, in your research, did you find out about what they used to do before the building caught fire?
No.
So, something that at least I was told when we used to go there is that you could actually like pay to stay the night and like experience the hauntings or
Ooh.
like, here's some of the things. I don't know if they do that anymore. I haven't been there in a long time and I never really got to do that. But they would talk about like hearing like old railroad workers,
Oh,
and of course, and I'm sure Charlie as well.
probably.
Because I mean, as you probably assumed, Old Town Spring is um like an intersection for a lot of railroads, and
Mhm.
even in like North Houston, there's a lot of railroads that just kind of run throughout, still in use for the most part. It was a long train too, but yeah, I was waiting to say that, but I'm surprised they didn't list that.
Surprise indeed. There we go, the inside scoop from someone from Spring. So the last like kind of haunting thing that I saw reported was people being like the usual people being touched, silverware being moved around, and chairs being flipped over. So I don't know if it's just Charlie haunting this place, honestly, but like if it's not, there's some chaotic ghost in this place, and I kind of love that for them. But as he kind of alluded to, the building was actually sold again in 2017, and it has been brought back to its original state more or less as the Winchy Bros Cafe. So it is kind of going back to that look and feel of when it was first built in the 1900s, which is really cool.
We should go there. We should
We
go
sh we
get
should.
some food.
We should. We
I
need to
took
go.
pictures for my prom at that building before it caught fire.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cringe.
Yeah, they were. I saw them.
They,
You and your brother.
my brother was rocking his outfit.
Okay. Love you, Keanu. But those were some cringy pictures for both of you. Anyway, that is Old Town Spring. That's like, those are some of the most haunted places that I could find. There were several other places noted, but I couldn't find anything on them. Like I would type in and look up like, oh, this spot in Old Town Spring, and nothing would come up that would give me any information. So there's a lot more to it. Like I said, if you live near the Spring area, definitely go check out that haunted tour. I know I want to now. Like I want to go learn all this stuff. But yeah, that is Old Town Spring and our first episode with a guest. If you guys liked having him on here or liked having someone for me to banter with a bit more, let me know. I am kind of doing this as a way to kind of gauge if I should maybe bring on a co-host. I haven't fully decided yet, but let me know how y'all felt about it in the comments. And I do also just want to let y'all know a few updates. I am officially wherever you can get your podcast. I finally figured it out. Amazon Music stopped bullying me finally, and I finally got my podcast out on all of the platforms I could find. So I am everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was exciting. I do also have a Facebook and Instagram page as well as a YouTube channel. So if you want to see us being silly here on the video, you can join in to see our cute little fireplace in the background, our cringy wire setup that we're not talking about,
And our Nintendo Switch.
and our Nintendo Switch.
Animal Crossing.
Whoop. Yeah.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Unless.
No.
Anyway, but so you can check all those out. They're all under Cozy Creeps Podcast. I am also on TikTok if you want to see some of those. Also, again, under Cozy Creeps Podcast. And then I still am looking forward to doing listener stories soon. I just haven't had really any come in. So if you do have any true crime or spooky tales that you want to send in to me for me to read on the podcast, you can email them to cozycreepspodcast@gmail.com with the subject line listener stories. Also, if you have any recommendations for stories you'd like to hear covered in the future, any small town stories that maybe aren't as widely covered, let me know. I would love to go over them and start adding them to my list. And I do post new episodes every week on Monday, so keep an eye out for the next ones coming. And with that, go bundle up in your warm blanket. Let's finish off your comfort drinks and stay cozy. Bye, guys.
Yeah.